Hello, hello. I don't know if anyone is going to watch this, but you know, we are here. We are happy to be here. So today I am going to be making the, oh, we gotta, oh, we have a person. Awesome. Okay, so today I decided I am going to be making meatloaf. So we're gonna eat like submariners today. So this recipe actually is not from USS Cobia, but it is actually from USS Barb. So that's kind of interesting. But I'm gonna walk you through how to make it. So the original recipe actually calls for 80 portions, and I don't know about you, but like, I don't really want to do 80 portions today, so we're going to try to do 10 portions, but what you will need for this meatloaf is we got some bread. It was dollar bread at Walmart, and then we'll see how this works, but we need beef and pork, which I have combined already into this bowl. I also have onions and celery, which I will be grinding later, and then it also calls for green peppers. I'm serving this probably to my dad later on, and he does not like green peppers. But the reason why, like, onions and peppers were really, really cheap, like, during World War II, and that was, like, the best way to get vegetables for the submariners. So usually we'd add green peppers, but today we are not going to do that. So then we'll eventually need eggs and then salt and pepper. So let's get started on that. The recipe calls originally for 2 pounds of bread. I don't know about you, but that seems like a lot of bread. So I have about a little less than a loaf here, and we're gonna fill the bowl with water. Okay. So this is the bread softened because we're gonna tear it apart, and you know, basically. So we gotta just get that in there. Ooh, look at that. Nice and soft. Ooh, I did not like this one little bit. Let me tell you, this feels really weird. But yes, we are soaking the bread to make our meatloaf for those who just joined us. I'm really happy that people are joining this. I didn't think they would. So that makes me super, super happy. Oh, for those of you who don't know, I just realized I've never introduced myself. So my name is Katie Dano. I am being a social media intern this summer for the Wisconsin Maritime Museum. So I got my nice little shirt here. I got this for free. Super lit. So that is awesome. So then I really like working here. I decided to do this cooking show, and here we are. So sorry, but yes. Also, if you have any questions, like, throughout this process, feel free to, like, leave a comment, anything like that. I would love to, like, hear from you guys, see how I'm doing. I hopefully will do more of these. I hope it gets popular. I don't know, but alright, so the biggest thing is what the recipe calls for is to pretty much put all the ingredients through a grinder, and typically not in most households. So what we're doing instead is we are putting my onions and celery that I have already diced up prior to this into a food processor. This is my mom's food processor. This is my mom's kitchen, so this is where I'm doing it today. And I had to, like, go over everything with her because we were like, how are we supposed to grind stuff? I don't know. But, you know, I bet on the actual USS Cobia, they had a huge kitchen because actually, so I don't know if anyone's been on tours or a lot lately, but the USS Cobia, because submarining was super dangerous, the perks for being a submariner were super high. So one of them was you get better food. If you ever have toured the USS Cobia, you will see, like, in the kitchen, they have, like, fake steaks. That's because if the captain wanted steaks, you were also getting steaks because you worked in like hotter than hot conditions, and you also had to, ooh, I dropping celery. That's okay. My dog will eat it later. You were working in terrible, terrible conditions, and you had to, like, it was hot, it was sweaty, you didn't have your own bed unless you were the captain, and so having really great food was an awesome thing to, you know, ooh, my oven's ready. So yeah, so I'm putting everything in. So about, I like calculated the recipe so it matches a better portion for like a regular sized family. So this is about 1 large onion and then 3 stalks of celery. So we're gonna put this on. I am so sorry for the noise. Get that all nice and good. I'm gonna shake this a little bit so I can get the, like, look at that. It's a nice little chopped mixture. This is a mistake of the, so if you have a grinder at home, be my guest on how to do it. Ooh, all right, let's get this back on. Another fact about the USS Cobia is that it actually was not built in Manitowoc. Actually, no, it was built in Manitowoc. It was first launched, however, in Groton, Connecticut. So that's a little fun fact for you. So I'm looking in. It's a nice, it smells interesting. I need to get the onion. I personally need to make sure the onions are nice and like thin because I have a father who does not like the texture of onions. And so therefore, I need to make sure this is nice and put together. All right, let's get this back in. This is the longest part of the process because really it's not much longer than doing this stuff. Ah! Why aren't you working? There we go. This is like the biggest part of it. I wish I did it prior to starting live, but like here we are. You know, it's all part of the process. Ooh, yeah, that is getting nice. Alright, that should be good. Yeah, that looks nice. So we're gonna take the thingy out. And then we got this nice puree. So we have that all good. So now we have to combine all the things into this bowl. Okay. So I already kind of like diced up the meat a bit. And so basically you have to add your soaked bread, making sure you squeeze all the water out. And you put it into the bowl. And it's really important to make sure you get the excess that water out because you have to make sure that your meatloaf isn't watery. I'm so sorry that all you hear is blending. I'm done blending now. Hopefully that'll be no more. So we're getting the water out. Oh, my dog is coming to eat the extras. Oh, yeah. So we're trying, I should have used this bowl to put everything in, but you know, it's a learning process. So we got the bread in here, and so I'm just gonna kind of mix this up with my hands because I don't have a grinder. So we're really trying to just get this whole thing together and all mixed up, okay? And so this is the ground beef and pork that I am squishing. It feels so weird. I hope anyone who's watching this realize how weird this feels. So then we get the onion and celery mix. This is super important. To get this in here. And so we mix it all together. It looks really odd right now because it's not cooked yet. But the blending itself helped the celery and onions get super, super thin. So that way they're able to, oh yeah, I can really feel this. I hope my rings don't fall off. So I'm still mixing this. Oh my God. It feels just awful. I hope you know. Whoever makes meatloaf at home, I am warning you that if you are a texture person, this is not the best thing that you want to make. All right, so that's pretty blended. I'm going to wash my hands real quick because my hands get disgusting. Yes. So this is what we have like together. So this is what it looks like. So it's all like mixed together. And so now we have to grab some things. I have to go grab, ooh, I'm gonna dump, I had some mess in my kitchen. I'm dumping my bread water into the sink so I can get rid of the bowl. Whenever you're cooking, it's always good to kind of clean as you go. That's what my mom always used to tell me. So what I'm gonna grab another small bowl. We have a nice kitchen for this. Nice bowl. See, they're all color coded. So next we are, like we have our nice meat mixture right here. And so we need to make a egg and like salt and pepper mixture, and that's gonna go around the meatloaf. So I'm gonna go grab 2 eggs. I totally forgot to do that. Here I am. So sorry about that. Where is my dog? So we're gonna crack 2 eggs into this bowl. The original recipe calls for 1 pound of eggs, which we don't want, because that's 10 eggs approximately. So this is basically just a seasoning mixture. I'm gonna get my eggs out of the way. And then I'm going to take a fork and just mix this all up. Okay, so now when it's nice and mixed, rinse this off. What you're gonna do is you're going to season it with salt and pepper. So the recipe is very specific. I think you should measure with your heart. So the original recipe calls for 6 ounces of salt and then a 1/2 ounce of pepper. I disagree with that, so I'm going to just measure with my heart here. We're going to get some salt and some pepper. I like a little bit more pepper, so that is why I'm adding more. It's approximately, if you did the math for the portion I'm doing, it's about a 1.5 teaspoons of salt, and then it's like a 1/2 teaspoon of pepper. Yeah, I don't want to do that. So we're not going to do it because I think I like recipes that call for a lot of pepper. So I am mixing that up real quick. Now this is the interesting part, let me tell you. So I made this lightly seasoned egg mixture. And so then I'm going to pour it. I believe I'm going to pour it. I hope it works. Oh, actually, I understand. The recipe itself is made during World War II. So sometimes their methodology is not always like what I'm used to as a modern day citizen. So basically what you're going to do is you're going to spray your pan with some nice cooking oil. I have canola oil here from my mixture. You're going to take the egg mixture and you're going to cover the bottom of the pan with it. And that is going to help soak it up. I hope this is right. I don't see why it wouldn't be, but basically that's what you're going to do, because that's what it says. So you have the lid, and you place the mixture in the roasting pans. All right, I'm great. All right, so now we're going to shape our loaves. We're going to clean this bowl up. Okay, and so then we have our nice pan here. I believe this is from my great Aunt Connie. It's very old, but basically we're going to shape our meatloaf. So, oh yeah, this is nice. So we're going to put it on the egg mixture, and you're going to kind of shape it like a loaf of bread, I would say. So it's not going to be the prettiest thing. This is also my first time making meatloaf, so if this comes off terribly, I don't know what to do. It's the submarine's recipe. So we're making a nice loaf. Again, don't know how this is going to turn out. I hope it's not anything major. If anyone wants, if has ever made meatloaf before, or wants to give me pointers, you can leave a comment. And that way I can be better at this. My mom used to cook a lot when I was growing up, as well as my grandparents, and then my great aunt as well. I have been trying in my college years, I've been trying to cook a little bit more, but that doesn't always happen. But I definitely did not cook like 80 portions a day like this meatloaf right here. So we got all our bowls in the sink. Fun fact about the USS Cobia is that there was about, during missions, they went about 6 missions each. There was about 80 people on board the submarine at one time. So that meant the crew, that meant the cooks, that meant everyone. So overall, like 160 people total have lived on USS Cobia at one point in time. So let me show you what we got here. So this is my loaf. Again, I really hope this turns out well, because, you know, it feels weird. I believe I am following the recipe best I can. I had to cube the pork. I picked up the pork from the Piggly Wiggly, and I diced it. And then the ground chuck was just, it came out that way. So I hope this turns out well. What you're going to do is, I already preheated my oven, and I am going to put this in the oven. So the recipe calls for the meatloaf to be in the oven for 2 hours. I am not going to be on live for 2 hours. I don't even know what I would talk about for 2 hours, quite honestly. But I'm going to at least set the timer for an hour. Boop. Just to make sure I don't burn it or something like that. Because, you know, I don't know, because ovens have advanced throughout the ages, and I just don't know if it's gonna die on me. But some other quick facts before I go. I will come back and show you guys the results of the meatloaf. But obviously I have to do other things today for my job. I do work at home, which is super, super cool. I really do love working at Wisconsin Maritime Museum. If you have not visited lately, you really should. I think the USS Cobia is awesome, and that says a lot. I think a lot of history is really important to know, and so I think you should just take the trip to Manitowoc. Just do it. So fun fact is the gas mileage of the submarine is about 0.1 miles to the gallon. So imagine you were like a little old lady trying to get down the street going 0.1 miles to the gallon. It has 24 torpedoes that receive several medals, about 6, I believe. Another fun fact is that it had 252 battery cells, and each one weighed about 1,650 pounds, and they were used whenever they would submerge, because you could only charge them when you were out of the water, because electricity and stuff. top surface speed is 21 knots. Cruising speed on the surface is 14. The top underwater speed, however, is 14 knots. Underwater speed is 9 knots. Sorry, I misspoke. And then it does travel about, like in regular car terms, it travels about 3 miles per hour. The Manitowoc Shipping Company had built 28 submarines during World War II. Only 25 were built in time to see World War II. These are just some of the facts that I've learned in like about 3 weeks I've been working here. I do really enjoy it, but unless anybody has any questions for me, I am gonna let everyone go. It really is a process to do this. I hope you all appreciate the people who cook in your lives, because that was a lot to do. But basically, to reiterate, with this meatloaf it was originally called for 80 portions. I cut it down to 10 using some math. Actually, if you want a template, you can look for it on Wisconsin Maritime Museum's website, and you can find a template about how to change because this is in pounds, and obviously when you're cooking, you usually use cups. So it was about a little less than a loaf of bread, 1.5 pounds of ground beef. I think I put a little bit more in there just because it was 1.5 pounds of pork. And it said to dice it. I probably should have sliced it a little thinner just because of how I can't grind it. It was about a whole onion, I would say, and 3 stalks of celery, just to put it easier terms. About 2 eggs, maybe a little bit more, a little bit less, depending how big your eggs are. And then you need salt and pepper to season. If you want the specific seasoning, it's about a teaspoon and a half of salt or 1/2 teaspoon of pepper. I seasoned with my heart just because that's how I've always been taught. And it also calls for green peppers. I would say a good large 2 green peppers would do. Actually, probably like half a green pepper will do. I didn't use it today because I just don't want to. My dad doesn't really like green peppers, and I'm going to serve this to him later, so. But I really appreciate you guys tuning in today. If anyone has any questions before I go, I got to start doing dishes, because you always got to clean up after your mess. So stop in the museum. I will see you next week, hopefully, and I can do this for you guys again. Thank you. We're ending the